A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant diplomatic move, Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has accused Iran of orchestrating at least 2 anti-Semitic attacks on Australian soil, leading to the expulsion of Iran's ambassador to Canberra. During a press conference held in the Australian capital on Tuesday, Albanese described the incidents as extraordinary and dangerous acts of aggression orchestrated by a foreign nation aimed at undermining social cohesion within Australia. The attacks in question occurred last year at the Lewis Continental Kitchen, a kosher restaurant in Sydney, and the Adass Israel Synagogue in Melbourne, both of which were targeted in arson attacks. Fortunately, there were no casualties reported, but both incidents resulted in significant property damage. Albanese emphasized the Australian government's strong stance on these matters, stating, "It is totally unacceptable, and the Australian government is taking strong and decisive action." He announced that the Iranian ambassador, Ahmad Sadeghi, alongside 3 other Iranian officials, has been declared persona non grata and must leave Australia within 7 days. This expulsion marks a historic moment for Australia, as it is the first time since World War II that the country has expelled an ambassador. In addition to the expulsion, the Australian government has suspended operations at its embassy in Tehran, relocating all diplomats to a third country. Albanese also revealed plans to legislate the designation of Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, as a terrorist organization. The decision follows a troubling rise in anti-Semitic incidents across Sydney and Melbourne, particularly since the outbreak of the Israel-Hamas conflict in 2023. According to the Australian Security Intelligence Organisation, ASIO, credible intelligence has linked Iran to these attacks, with Albanese stating that the Iranian government attempted to disguise its involvement. ASIO assesses it was behind the attacks, he said. The kosher cafe in Sydney was targeted on October 10th, while the synagogue in Melbourne was attacked on December 6th. Both locations are situated in areas with substantial Jewish populations, raising concerns about community safety and social cohesion. Foreign Minister Penny Wong reiterated the seriousness of the situation, advising Australians currently in Iran to return home and warning against any travel to the country. The Australian government has updated its travel advisory for Iran to the highest level, urging citizens to avoid all travel due to the risks of arbitrary detention or arrest. Despite the expulsion of the ambassador, Wong noted that Australia would maintain some diplomatic channels with Iran to protect its interests. The Iranian government has yet to respond to these allegations and actions taken by Australia. The expulsion of the Iranian ambassador comes amidst escalating tensions between Australia and Iran, particularly following Albanese's recent announcement to formalize recognition of a Palestinian state at the upcoming United Nations General Assembly. This diplomatic row has intensified following Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's public criticism of Albanese, accusing him of betraying Israel. As the situation unfolds, the Australian community, particularly those of Jewish descent, remains on high alert following these attacks. The Executive Council of Australian Jewry has expressed outrage over the attacks and welcomed the government's decision to label the IRGC as a terrorist organization. These were attacks that deliberately targeted Jewish Australians, destroyed a sacred house of worship, caused millions of dollars of damage, and terrified our community, the statement read. The Australian government's decisive actions reflect a commitment to uphold national security and community safety in the face of foreign aggression. As more details emerge and diplomatic relations continue to evolve, the Australian public watches closely, aware of the broader implications these events may have on international relations and domestic security. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.